Okay, we're back. And I'm kind of agitated in a good way. I don't really know precisely how I feel about these little monsters. Other than, I like them, I want them, and, yeah, shit, they kind of screwed with me. What we have here are the advanced GT3s. IEMs designed for musicians and audiophiles alike. These are something we're going to get into. Okay, so I'm going to get the go no go out of the way in the very beginning, because there is a metric fuck ton of caveats that come with this particular device, and those need to be gotten into, like in depth. So for those of you just looking these up, yeah, go. They get the go. They get the easy go. They collect, well, not $200, $300. Yeah, $300. They get the go. Not because they're $300, but now we're getting into the caveats. So, in my last video, I had mentioned the T2s are very similar to something along the lines of what I would call elementary schoolers' first monitor, or first IEM monitor. They were very clean, relatively warm, nice stage, pretty decent imaging, reasonable soundstage. I mean, for $50, you get what you get, and they're really good quality dynamics. Dual drivers. These, to my knowledge, are either single or dual drivers. Dynamic. Oh, I'm inventing new shit. No, dynamic drivers in these. I'm not sure if it's singular or dual. I can't seem to find what says what. We'll keep the box there. It's going to be useful in a moment. But holy shit on a biscuit and call it a shingle. Shit on a shingle, for those of you that don't know, or aren't from the South. Delicious. Not literal, of course. Okay. These are absolutely amazing. Now, with a $300 price tag, we're talking about very premium stuff here, children. And you don't just go around saying, oh, yes, it's $300, it's amazing, I've listened to it, it sounds great. No. We don't play that game here. In fact, I don't usually like to compare other things that I'm reviewing to other things unless absolutely necessary for the sake of understanding. I try to review every item on the item's merit alone, with comparisons for the sake of argument or for the sake of comparison, to give you a baseline reference point. I mentioned the T2s. These are like college, maybe university, second-year students' in-ear monitors. Kind of, sort of. They have an interesting frequency response graph to them, but they're so damn clean. The highs are very bright and pointy, to the point of almost being sharp and sibilant. Almost. The lows are impactful, deep. They have a texture to them that's like micro subwoofers. Not like they have a lot of bass, not like the KZ-ZS10 Pro or the ZSN Pro type of bass. No. Like, they emulate low-frequency effect to, I swear to the gods and goddesses or the powers that be you pray to, that there are subwoofers rumbling in some ephemeral room all around me. And that's just it. These are the closest I've come to experiencing in the in-ear monitor world, thus far anyway, to a room-like experience. experience. These have been messing with me for the past week or so that I've been putting them through their paces, approximately speaking. And I'm finding that these are very particular little devices. They're amp picky, not so much DAC picky, just good quality. But they're amp picky, and boy howdy are they wire picky. These come with very nice silver cables, including the mobile on the go style one with a mic and all the other fun stuff that you would use for a cell phone. Sorry, terribly late. But I wanted to get this recorded. And the problem I'm having with them is that on heavy metal or anything else that's over-recorded or particularly loud, they become highly sibilant. You put them on a warm amp and it calms them down a pinch, makes them more enjoyable and listenable. The track you just heard, Into the Doldrums, The Risk of Rain 2, Early Access OST. As busy as that part of the track was, or is, it still exists, these keep up perfectly well with the silver cable that is included, 4-core, 2 per side. Put a nice, good quality copper cable on them, and suddenly all the brights are brought down, but the bass is left slightly rolled up. The mids that are particularly angry, in the terms of being low, are brought up slightly as well. But not in a bad way. You never lose the insane amount of highs, regardless of the filtering that you use, that only changes this segment here. There's a slight modification along the other spectrum, but for the most part, between the 2 in the 5K region, mostly the 2 in the 5K region is where you see most of the change. I felt like leaving them on the reference. Their base model doesn't really increase, the base filter, and doesn't really increase the bass substantially. So I didn't really feel it was necessary to put it on. It just dulled the brightness, and the treble filter increased the brightness to painful levels no matter what I did with it. The reference seemed to be the best point for these. And with a cable wire, I went from not being able to listen to my favorite metal as of late from Insomnium to banging my head to it full body style at work, just moving cylinders and getting into it and taking measurements. These kind of ruined me. David, these ruined me. I am considering buying my own pair, although they do have for $50 extra the super bass model, and if these are thumpy in the bumpy region, then I can only imagine the amount of mind-melting, brain-rattling amounts of bass the other one has, and it is quality bass. But I digress. Let's go back a bit. I mentioned the soundstage was interesting. I feel like I'm put in a room. Let's just imagine that this is the room, and these are the buds in my ears. There we go. Well, okay, you get the idea. Sound can either be in my head, just outside my head, literally, and I shit you not, this is the first time I've really experienced it this well, behind me, and all distances in between in this room, like the speakers are on gimbals, and, armatures just moving around seamlessly, phasing in and out of existence, rolling back and forth, and side to side, back and front, even slightly, not as much, up and down. And the tracking of the imaging is spot bloody on through the entire way through. Even with heavy metal, I'm pulling thanks to the increased amount of treble, extra details I didn't quite know existed, but I'm not being punished with a copper cable. The mids are a bit rolled under. If you're a mid-forward kind of person, you may want to omit these from your particular library of devices. If you like an insane amount of quality bass, a very V type of tapered signature, or V-rolled signature. These will do quite nicely. I mean, they damn well better for $300. The wire that comes in the box is not bad, not great, not bad. I wish they would omit the other mobile wire with a remote, because it's dirt cheap to buy one on your own with an MMCX jack, and just include a high-quality copper solution. That way you can decide if you want very bright, accentuated highs with all the amazing detail that comes with it, or get warm, full-bodied, slightly bolstered mids that only copper seems to be able to provide. That is the only downside to this particular set, is that it doesn't come with an extremely high-quality copper cable, as much as the silver wire included, although slightly tightly wrapped, is very nice still, nevertheless. Oh, God, these... I want to listen to them more and more. They're really comfortable for relativistically long listening sessions, and they should be. They're designed for musicians and studio personnel. An audiophile's dream. When you hear about an IEM or a headphone being an audiophile type device, this seems very prototypical of that particular desire. They're unyieldingly bright. They change with the amplification being given. They sounded great on the KN. I can't remember what model number this is, but it's that one with the touch buttons. Sounded very bright, very clean. On the LGV50, a little bit warmer. Throw a copper cable, and then boom, we're back to square one, but with more of what I've said before, with different amps playing differently with it. It's a very customizable feel for it. These are the most reactive to the material of the cable I have ever seen, and yes, I've worked on them balanced too. They do enjoy a lot more power. They don't need more power, no, but they do enjoy very much more power. These tick all of my boxes for when I want to be very analytical on something, and I've dumped an amazing amount of bass and they never distort, and they can separate really, really well. You keep them on a silver cable, and on a noisy track, the driver seems to get confused. It can't seem to separate well enough. It's too bright, becomes sibilant. If you put them on a copper cable, however, well recorded, not so well recorded, they can separate it out and you can enjoy it. But this is one of the most punishing devices I've ever had for listening loud. These punish you for trying to trigger your acoustic reflex and then overcome it with sheer volume. These are an easy listening device. Classical, well recorded. The Risk of Rain OST, any good OST sounds amazing in these. Well-recorded metal, like Apocalypse Orchestra, I believe the name is, comes out really, really well. Yes. I feel terribly confused on these, other than the fact that I really want to buy my own set. And these are on loan from David of DBS Tech Talks. Yeah, don't worry, Dave. You're getting your set back as per my promise. I'm sorry it wasn't this check. I have an Atom. I did tell him this. I have a JDS Labs Atom amp en route to me, so he can put his own stack on for sale and get some more money, whereas I'm able to power some of the other more demanding headphones, and then I can enjoy a bit more with a more 789 style amp. Well, I believe that's it. Have a beautiful day, a wonderful afternoon, a pleasant night, and may you have sweet dreams and travel far and wide, my children. Come back again to see the next video, which I believe will be the AudioSense T180, per my agreement to give them a review in about a month or so. And come back to see me again soon. The Great Wizard, Farsil. Poof.